After years in our home, growing the family, road trips, adventures, a van build, and just an all-around great time, we've decided to make a massive change. Spending a couple months living in an RV will teach you a couple things. 1, how little you need, and 2, how little you use. So, we're throwing away the suburbs and the city life for something a bit different. So in the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains sits a tiny little town, and in that town sits a tiny little house. Well, there it is. The new crib. We are all moved in. It is small, a little bit cramped right now, but still pretty cozy. 400 square feet of mortgage-free home. Oh, buddy. 400 square feet fills up fast. Look at this porch. This porch is magical. Ooh, yes. Well. Got ourselves a shed. It's pretty badass. Good news too, because we were keeping all this crap inside the house. It is looking much better now. What do you say, dear? Is this a good way to spend a wedding anniversary?
Oh, it's perfect.
Perfect. Perfect indeed. 400 square feet is cozy, but we didn't just move here for a shed or beers on a porch. We're on our first hike out of the new house here in North Carolina, and it is amazing. It's only like 15 or 20 minutes from our house, and back in Nashville, you'd have to drive an hour and 45 minutes, 2 hours before you get to anything with half as pretty of views. We're settling into the new house pretty well. There are hectic days, there are stressful days, just like any move, but days like today really take all that stress away. But what about the van and more road trips? Okay, so the idea with the van is not and has never been to be full-time van lifers. I think it would be pretty cool for Misty and I alone to do that, but with the animals, you know, the 2 cats and the dog, it's just not realistic. It's just not feasible. At least not yet. The idea here was always to take multiple 2 to 3 month long trips when we can and just see what happens and hope for the best. But in the meantime, we live here in beautiful western North Carolina in an Appalachian Trail town. I won't lie and say the transition has been easy, because it hasn't. But overall, I think it's going to end up being a good thing, going tiny, getting rid of all the unnecessary crap. I think most people end up spending time with things rather than doing things, and hopefully this will give us a chance to do more. You know, I think overall that's the point of all this. The road trip, the van build, the new tiny house, all of it. Everything's kind of led here, stepping away from all the things that bind us. And now, hopefully, having the chance to do more of what we love and what we want. But it was not easy deciding to leave all of our friends and family and our home. That's a funny word, isn't it? Home? See, I believe home isn't a place. It's not a thing. It's not something you could touch, smell, or taste. It's a feeling. Between the brick and mortar, the studs and insulation, there lies memories, hopes, and dreams. Untold hurt and unimaginable love. No, a house is not a home. It's simply a place to create a home. It can lie within the mobile and flimsiest of walls, or the rigid and stationary. The structures and frames simply provide a space needed to be filled with home. So, there it is. I wanted to give you guys a little bit of info on the transition between suburb Nashville city living and rural North Carolina tiny home living. But I have some friends and family that want to see the home, but for obvious reasons can't come out and see us and visit us just yet. So I figured I'd end this video with a real quick tour of our tiny home. Here we go. Welcome to 400 square feet of coziness. We've got the living room, the office space with kitty dumping, the shitter, the shower, the laundry, in that order.
a tiny yet abundant bedroom with a view, and a surprisingly large closet. Outside, we have a porch with far too many seating options for 2 people, a shed for all my woodworking needs, and a yard for the turd, aka Sookie, to run around completely off leash. Sitting on half an acre, we got room to stretch our legs, and room for a tent for when Misty has had enough of my sheer stupidity. All jokes and dumbness aside, the house is great, and absolutely more than what we need. And cozy as hell. To be honest with you, the easiest thing about this whole move has been going from 1,100 square feet to 400. But that's where I'm going to end this video. Thank you so much for watching, and all the new subscribers. I'll see you next time.
And saw starlight, bold bright colors.